You are now listening to the Lasting Legacy Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of the Lasting Legacy Podcast. Thank you to my niece for subscribing to our YouTube channel today. If everyone else would want to be as cool as her, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. Her name's Carly, and if you could just post like, "Hey, Carly, thanks for subscribing," she'd be pretty pumped. She's 9, so she'd be pretty jazzed up to do that. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Adrian Duran. He pretty much does everything. He owns Flex Security, he owns Rooted Yardist, and he also owns Duran Consulting. So we're going to talk about how he built this empire here. Yeah. So thank you for coming by, man. We appreciate it.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. I'm David, owner.
Into it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I'm David, owner of David Took It. I usually ask the questions and stuff, but yeah, man, thank you for coming on. I was super pumped when I was digging into your resume a little bit. So I mean, I don't know if you want to, how far back you want to go, but just give the people, tell them who you are.
My name is Adrian Duran. I am a father of 4. I got 3 girls and 1 boy. My son is going to be 3 next month. Daughter's going to be a year in August. Probably the coolest thing that I've ever done, for sure. I've been a part of that anyway.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I remember I used to hate having, I was like, I'll never have kids.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst thing ever. But it's actually changed my life and put a new perspective on that, and I guess things that really matter. Yeah, man, I was used to work construction. I didn't like it. Honestly, the reason I kind of joke with people and I say that the reason why I started doing what I did is because I wasn't able to take a shit at my own house. Not that I won't.
That changes perspective too. Yeah, no,
it's crazy
genius.
though. Like it's just horrible. Like porta potties and running up and down stairs. That was horrible. Like and anyhow,
I don't even need a house. I just need like a building.
It was horrible, man. And I've been super fortunate. Started in door to door in 2006. Is how I kind of started everything.
What were you selling door to door?
Alarms, actually.
Nice.
I started in the sales side, and then I realized I sucked at it. And then
I'm too genuine of a person.
Dude, it's hard because it definitely messed with my moral compass of the way I thought of things, the way they taught it anyway at that time, and became a tech and for a very large company and had one of the largest offices in the United States.
That's huge.
We traveled, I probably lived in 11 states and 36 to 40 cities.
Oh my God.
Through my 20s. So it's pretty cool though, man. Like I really enjoyed that part of it. I missed a lot of stuff here in town though, because, summertime is when I used to leave. I used to leave for, 8-9 months out of the year and then come back home. But that's kind of how it started.
Nice, yeah. So how long were you door to door and with that other company before you jumped ship?
I was with them for 7 years. I was with them for 7 years, and then I got a bonus was taken away for like 1/10 of a point.
That's
so
annoying,
I was like, what, dude? It's like $10,000 at that time too. So it was like one of those things that was like, life changing for somebody that wasn't making really good money. And I went and moved to this other company that was based out of Colorado. Became basically their regional tech head tech that control like the tech department. Then they decided to move to South Carolina, and I was just kind of done with traveling at that point. So my cousin and I. Which he worked for me the whole time. Like I've been very blessed with like dudes. Like the way that this worked out is I was able to recruit my friends and family, and had some solid dudes with me the whole time. So we ended up starting our own alarm company here in Pueblo, and dude, that's kind of how that started.
Nice. So at what point did you know? I mean, obviously the big motivation was the getting hosed on that bonus. So how did you know that you can jump ship and do your own thing?
I didn't. I think that's a lot of time what happens is like I was already at 100% commission job for, the last 8 years. So when you just have to realize that your worth, right? Like I know what I could create and I know what I could install. Like, and at that point in time, we were just installing. But I knew I have a gift of gab, and just my morals, I think, was what kept me going stronger. And like I knew that I couldn't lose at that point. So that's why I decided to start our own thing.
That makes sense.
And just like literally you're seeing people get rich off of your efforts, and it's like, holy cow, like
you know what your commission is, but you also knew how much the system you were installing was.
Yes.
Yeah, that's got to be hard to swallow.
Well, and just the alarm side, it's a residual income that you could have, and it's like, it's an amazing thing. The way that we have it now, like we do 100% no contracts, but we have customers that we've had since 2013, which is amazing. There's, we have hundreds of door knocking companies that come through here all the time, and
of course,
our customers are super loyal because we take care of them.
So you want to break down like exactly like the process? Like, do you go install the alarms and then get paid, and then you get paid for like a monitoring
so
fee
like
kind of thing, right?
So now what happens? Like somebody will come to me and they're just like, "Hey, I need an alarm." I'll go give them a quote at their house. I actually just go in there and I protect their house like I would my own, right? Like, but I know the kind of the secrets of this part, like glass breaks and window sensors and motions and stuff are kind of a different thing. But the way I look at it now is like if they pay my cost for the equipment, they pay $100 install, and then they pay $30 a month. Like you can't lose on that.
True.
You know what I mean?
Honestly.
Like, and there's no contract. You don't have to have good credit. If you're renting, like you just have to have an owner's permission. Basically, like we just give them a slip that signs like, "Hey, you're allowing us to drill holes in there. You're not gonna come after us." Like, they mess something else, that's on them.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
Kind
of cover you guys on the back end.
Yeah.
No, that's a very like specific niche of a market. It's not every day you run into somebody who does that.
Well, and it's huge though, man. Like to think about it, like I used to do this in all these other cities, and like don't get me wrong, I used to love it because like you are protecting people, and they're purchasing peace of mind, which is a huge thing to have peace of mind. But when you have it to where you do it in your home city, like it just feels even better. Like you're protecting your friends and your family, and like knowing that like. I don't know if you guys ever got broken into, but it's a shitty feeling.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Like,
no, I can only imagine.
Like just knowing somebody's been in your underwear drawer, just like, oh,
dang. I wonder what they saw. I know. Brad has a lasting legacy lace pair of underwear that I hope that nobody ever sees. So
100 episodes.
100 episode. He will wear it. Yeah. Anyway, but I mean, I think I've sold. I used to work at Verizon, and we were piggybacked with like other companies. So like I could sell Comcast through Verizon, and that is not an easy thing to do. And I can't imagine like working for that company because then like it's a bunch of kind of sharks in a weird way. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the biggest part why I wanted to leave out of that big thing, because like any type of big summer program, and it's tough like that where people don't realize is there's companies that they go to places that have a low income and high violence rate, right, or high crime rate. Yeah, but for sure.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like Pueblo's a mecca because we have highest rates in the state for solar. We have
high
huge crime rate,
low income.
Low income. Like
it was the cheapest place to live for a long time.
Yeah. Well, and the people come here every year. So when you think about that part, it's good for business for sure. But the problem with that, like what I didn't like about it is just like they were just a number, right? Like,
of course, they weren't people.
When you're in summer, like your goal is to get 180 installs or sales, and like that's where you have a successful summer.
Yeah.
But if you don't, right, like that's where it's not. But like that's what I really wanted to do is focus on making people, a customer again.
No, that makes total sense. So in total, how long have you been a business owner since
2013?
2013.
2013. I actually opened a bar and flex at the same time. So
that's
like
insane.
That's cool.
It was stupid. It was the dumbest thing.
I truly don't understand where you sleep or when you sleep.
It was very lack of sleep there of when I did that because the bar, I thought it was just fun. Like I play pool, so I was just like, dude, I'm gonna play pool all the time.
Yeah.
I'll chill with all my friends.
Nope.
And didn't realize how much actual work it was. Like I really enjoyed Classic Hughes as the bar that I used to own.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And it was amazing because I learned so much about people and I learned so much about business, and I learned like my godparents taught me so many things. Like they were my partners with my partner, and it was just amazing to see like what like a real business person does. Like I had nothing. Like I was very ambitious, but I had zero knowledge of
all the way from payroll, alcohol orders, all that.
Well, just
security.
cost of goods.
A bar is definitely like a different monster to jump into.
You're literally babysitting grown ass men and women every single day.
Yeah,
and it's
hoping nothing pops off.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was massive. I was in there. Yeah,
it was crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, I had no idea that you owned that too.
Man,
that's super
bars
cool.
are. Yeah, bars are interesting. You have your customers who are getting drunk. Then you have like your employees overpouring is like a huge cost. Yeah. And so
and you have to be there like literally every single day and every minute to make sure you're
not losing
your benefit.
Yeah, no
kidding.
kidding.
Care,
Yeah,
no one will ever care as much as you do.
And no, I used to work with a bar, but like that's the thing, like you have to be there. It's not like a passive income business at all.
Unfortunately, not.
It's a full-time job plus an overtime job plus a part-time job.
I agree.
So was that your first business endeavor? It was like, I'm going to open this bar or take over the bar, whatever it was at that time, and I'm going to open up Flex.
Yeah. Well, initially I left South Carolina to open up Flex, and then I wasn't making any money at that point in time. I had some money I was sitting on, not much, but a little bit of cash that I was sitting on. And I had one of my best friends own the bar or managed the bar at the time, and I was just like, dude, can I work for you first? And like, can I have a job until I get this other shit rolling? And he gave me a job, taught me how to bartend, and what was tough is he was the only dude in there at the time, so like I got 0 tips. He'd leave it like $200. I get like $8.
No, for sure. You're like, damn, this sucks.
There's some of the other girls there, like it was horrible, and it's just figuring out how to do that, and it was definitely an amazing time to learn some stuff, and it was a great learning experience for sure.
So how did Flex progress, and then?
Honestly, what was tough is like I spent most of my attention on the bar at first because like the bar just needed it. It was just like having a newborn.
That's costing you money.
Yeah, so it's definitely costing you money. Well, and plus like I had a loan out, right? Like, and I'm still the type of person like where if I owed you money and like it didn't work out, like you're still gonna get your money.
For sure.
Gonna be like, oh, sorry, it's kind of an investment, you know how to be a little rocky sometimes. But no, it wasn't that way. Well, Flex was cool though because like we've already been doing it for a long time, so people already knew I was doing alarms, and then. When we started doing like fairs and stuff like that, it was pretty cool because I still didn't grasp the concept of like knocking doors was cool. And that's the fastest way to build some real momentum. So I was doing kind of word of mouth and great networkers, so people kind of knew that part already. So
that helps.
It was great. And then we got some big jobs, like we just bit off a lot more than we could chew at that point in time, but we still got it done. So it was pretty cool.
No, that's awesome. How many employees does Flex have?
Honestly, man, it's just me and a couple of my cousins that do that. We have a monitoring company that monitors everything for us, so like we just pay them.
Third party, you outsource that.
Yeah, because I'm not going to spend $500,000 to get something here in Pueblo, and then have to
train everybody,
manage everybody. Yeah, like it's already set up, dude. Like that place is already cool. Like I just pay them a monthly fee, I get my monthly fee, and it's a win-win.
No, that's smart.
Yeah, it's huge.
So then. Flex is kind of going, and then at what point do you dip into solar?
I dipped into solar. My last year, I owned a bar. I had a buddy that actually started me in the door-to-door industry, was just telling me about solar for years, and I was just like, but at that point in time, like I was already making decent bread for Pueblo. Like I was like, 80, 90 grand's like good,
Yeah,
and I was like, I don't need anything else,
Yeah.
And you get to that where he's just like, dude, just like hear me out. Like you live in the place with the worst rates in the state. I was like, well, just show me what it is on my house, because I just purchased a house, a foreclosed house. He showed me like basically, I could save you money day one, stop inflation, 20-year warranties. I was like, holy cow, like how come everybody's not doing this? It's like, dude, not everybody qualifies.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, dude, like, and then that's when I got into actually really knocking doors, and like I had knocked doors prior to that, but I wasn't as serious as I am now about it, because it's a very easy way to do it.
For sure. So how do you build a solar company from the ground up?
I couldn't tell you the solar company part. I could tell you how to bring any type of sales organization from the ground up.
Okay.
I think that's where my niche is at, is because I know how to communicate, I know how to recruit, I know how to train. I think those are all valuable things when you go into any type of organization that's going to be making money. Because realistically, any product I could sell, because I have a process, right? I teach the process. Like I don't stray away from that. I didn't create the process. Like I wasn't the brains of it. And like that's one of the things, is I'm always just a constant learner of how to evolve into a better person, because I sure as hell didn't know all the answers. My dad did concrete for a living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's, and you came from construction.
Yeah, I came from working with your hands, and now I definitely don't want my hands getting dirty.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. Which
Clean hands, dirty money.
exactly.
Those people with those stickers.
Those
like,
stickers
dirty.
are so
I can't
dirty
wait to
hands,
make the
clean money.
opposite.
We should.
Yeah, that's a good
Merch
idea.
coming soon. Check it out.
I'll buy it.
But yeah, no, it's super, super cool.
That's true. I mean, the process, like creating a system and creating processes, like that's the actual business owner side of it.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that you realize, like, it's about the process. I can repeat this and make businesses. Most people, including myself, I go into business as basically just owning my job.
Selling the service.
I'm an accountant.
If you die, you're done, dude. Like, your
Yeah,
business is
exactly.
gone.
I'm an accountant, so I don't own an accounting firm. When I started, I owned my job, as an
Yes, for
accountant.
sure.
And so now it's like, as I'm in the middle of that process, like
Building the brand.
building the process to just plug and play people in,
Yes.
and actually getting
Well,
marketing and
that's
stuff.
where you
and-
get like real freedom, like
Yep.
I'm not the richest man in the world, but we have some money now, and it's cool because like stuff gets done, and like we have processes and people in place that make that happen. Like I'm nothing without these people.
No, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and that's where
And
where
as an
that's
owner,
at.
you realize that.
Yes. Well, and I think one of the things I wanted to point out too is like in that process before transitioning into a sales guy is like learning what you were worth, right? I remember the best summer I ever had as a head tech. I was gonna make 80 grand. It was 79,000 is like where it was like right about to be. And the sales manager's brother, he was his sales manager, his partner. He came up to me and was just like, "Dude, what a great summer! Like, I appreciate your work and all this stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, we did it." Because we had the third biggest office, and there was like 130 offices that summer.
Yeah.
So it was a big deal for me
For
too.
sure,
because
yeah.
like we did it with pretty good without any major hitches. And he's just like, "Well, let me ask you a question. Is like, how much you gonna make this year?" And I was just like, "Dude, I'll make about 80 grand this year." It's like, "Dude, I'd kill myself if I did that." And I was like, "What?" Like I was like pissed. I was like, "What do you mean, dude?" Like, this Pueblo boy just went, like, "Well, I'll punch you in your face."
Yeah. I will literally
And he's
stab
like, "Well,
you.
hear me out real quick," because his like the biggest thing that people don't realize is they have a mental thermostat of what they're worth, right? His just like where you're from, like that's cool because like your parents and like we've had these conversations before. Like, my mom made about 55, 60 grand a year at best, right?
Yeah.
And like when we were growing up, we thought we were doing it because like we had. Honda Civic EX, 4-door standard.
Yeah.
There you go.
Heck yeah. New
PlayStation
clothes.
stuff. Yeah, we had everything we wanted and needed.
It's comfortable.
Yes, for sure. But like knowing what other people like, that's not nothing to some people, right? And
That's their tax bill.
yes.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what it was. Is like his dad was a multimillionaire. His brother was the main manager that year. He made like 800,000. He's like, "Bro, I made 300,000 this year, and I'm the brokest in my family." So like
That's
to
wild.
to him, like he wasn't shit.
Yeah.
And like for me, I was like, "Holy shit, that's the most I've ever even heard of."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You did this in the summer, and then that's kind of like what put things in perspective of me, like because that's exactly what I thought I was going to make that year.
Yeah.
It was 80 grand, and I did it. And it's like
Whatever you
like,
think.
holy- yes, dude, that's what you are.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I agree. Like you kind of, especially if you only hang out with people in this town or other small towns or whatever town you're in, like that's a limiting mind state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, oh man, making 100 grand, I'd be set. And now I'm like, well, I can't wait to make 250 grand because that's really where
I
you're
was
living.
broke. I was broke at 100 grand.
You
still,
know,
what I mean?
100 grand doesn't go as far as it
Water
as you
heater
think
still
it
hurts
is
at
and
100
stuff.
grand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like,
Have you seen the truck I drive? Those tires like $2,400. Yeah,
Yep.
just the tires. That's
Oil
horrible,
change,
yeah.
all that. You know?
and you know,
crazy.
you look outside of this town, you look at the bigger cities, and I mean, 80 grand in Springs is like middle class. 80 grand in Denver is poverty. And
Household income, 80 grand.
and
you know?
in here it's great, but I think a lot of business owners like me and you and David, I think we don't want to limit ourselves to what is great for Pueblo standards, basically. You know?
Well, like, but that's how you're raised, though, right? Like, I know for
Absolutely.
sure. Like, my parents didn't teach that part. Like, they tried to teach me to be savvy and stuff, but like, it wasn't. The belief here in Pueblo was just so small-minded on like what you could potentially be, and like, like my family, I love them to death, but like they preached, like go to school, get a good job, like that's where you're gonna be able to make the most money. You'll be great, and like we didn't have any entrepreneurial. Like my uncle Paul owns a liquor store, and like that was like the best. Like I remember like he'd go to like England and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm jealous.
Yeah, no, of course.
We're
Yeah.
going to Rock Canyon and
thinking it's the beach, you know what I mean?
Oh, shit,
we're going to the beach.
giant bathroom.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
like, it's crazy to think about that because people just don't know that.
for sure.
And
Look at the Rich Dad Poor Dad book.
Yes.
It's very
Huge.
right and left. Like I was brought up the same way. Like if you're either going to the college or you're going to the military. I did neither of those.
Yeah.
And I knew my dad had a safe living. Working for the state. I kind of followed that footsteps. My mom had a government job. Like it was very comfortable. And I'm very proud to be a part of that and like fortunate because not everybody has those same opportunities.
Sure.
But once you start, looking at like, okay, who's leaving the country on vacation, you know what I mean? Like who's really doing it, like this is a blue collar town,
Sure.
You get your hands dirty, you go to the mill, you go do something, you become a welder and that's what you think is good.
Sure.
But there's people who own half a union who are, like just killing it, you know what I mean? And they don't even have to leave their house.
Yeah.
And that's what I want,
I've been super blessed by being able to see how many people actually make really good money and like knowing that, because I remember that when that was one of my goals just a few years back is like I just got to make $100,000. That'd be cool. Like I remember praying for $5,000 a month. You know what I mean? And then like realizing when you go from like 5 to 10 to 20 to 30 and like seeing that stuff go up a month, it's like fuck, dude.
It's almost scary.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah,
like, what
this isn't real.
How did I deserve this? You know, like that's how you think.
And it's like exponential growth too,
Yes.
you know.
But it's crazy because like in the grand scheme of things, like I got friends that are doing millions a year, dude. And like I have this other buddy that's like his company is on pace to do 250 million.
Yeah.
Half a billion or a quarter
That's
billion
not even like
dollars.
for the average person to wrap their head around that size of a number. Even a million, like to wrap your head around that size of a number.
It's a lot of money. Dude.
Yeah.
And it's like the more you surround yourself with those people, the less and less crazy it becomes.
Sure.
Like 100%. I mean, for me, it's kind of cool. I work with so many different people in their businesses as an accountant. Like, the more successful people I start working with, the more successful I become, because I'm like, 10 million is achievable or what, these numbers are achievable as you see them. And it's hard to, when I started my company 6 years ago, I would never be like, I think I can do $1 million a year at my firm. And now I'm like, I really need to hit $1 million a year, like as soon as I can, like
it's only a matter of time.
Well, that's a fun part is when you could gross $1 million, and I never thought I'd be there either. Like honestly, like I remember I was pumped for like $300,000. I'm like, dang, we killed it this year. And like now we're doing that in like a month, and some of these things where.
Now is that through all of your avenues or mainly just
solar's the best one because
for sure,
because it's just higher ticket items.
Yeah,
but we do some very good stuff for Rooted Yardist is doing great. Like. I don't take any credit for that. My partner John Michael kills it. Like he's done a really good job on being consistent, but it's tough. You know what I mean?
It's
like
hard,
it's a very hard job to do, and like being when you're the only person doing some things because that's kind of we're still at the very infant age with Rooted Yardist. Like we're in 2 years there, and we don't have all the processes in place yet. But like it's cool because like I know how to do that, and it's gonna be there. But it's just we haven't spent enough time because it's always working and doing this stuff. Like it's almost impossible.
Yeah, no, for sure.
hard.
Especially during this time of the year.
Oh yeah,
your planning
crunch
phase
time.
has got to be January, February. When
It's
there's
actually like December, starting like December, January, February, and
because I mean I'm sure you're doing snow removals at that time as well.
And that's the funnest thing ever.
I was gonna say even opening your mind to the fact you can invest in a plow and charge businesses to do their lots,
bro,
and they don't blink twice.
I had bought a UTV just for fun, like for my house. Well, it's because I'm kind of lazy, so like my garage and my back garage are kind of far from it. So like, I'm not carrying that couch there.
Yeah,
it's not a
just
couch,
zip
it's like
it through
a
there.
little
Yeah.
Start 19-inch TV.
I got a case of water I got to bring back
that's
there.
funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, I bought a snowplow for that, dude. Like, and dude, we're so ghetto. Like, I'm just like, dang, that's like East Side or like you're comfortable and stuff like that. But like, you have to get out and like turn the blade and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I bought a big plow for my truck this year, and it was like, dude, this was dumb. Like, we did that 2 winters, like. Cold as hell. Like one of the times is like 17 below, and I only have a windshield. It's like
A plexiglass windshield. Yeah.
it's, on the backside, it's just horrible. But it was so funny because like now the snowplow, I'm just chilling in my truck with like my best friends, and like we're just shoveling a little bit of snow, drinking coffee. It's just amazing that we're making money on that.
My sorry to interrupt you. My stepdad does snow plowing for some businesses. He owns some stuff in Pueblo West, but he snow plows. He had a snow plow for his own lot, so he's like, well, I'll go hit up some people I know, Wake up
a little earlier.
Him and my mom now, that's what they do. And they just take all their snowplow money, and that's what they use when they go to Mexico.
And it's so fun. And the places have to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have no choice.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Your insurance will freak the hell out if you don't.
Yeah, you're not gonna see dentists out there plowing their parking lots or whatever.
And dude, it's so cool. Like, it's such a. I love that feeling. And like, honestly, that's one of my favorite things to do. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I'll wake up at 3:00 in the morning and put on my clothes and make a pot of coffee and go pick up the dudes, and like we just go, and it's just like cool because like there's nobody out there.
It's quiet.
You're doing the Lord's work, getting paid for like God just being like, hey, here you go, dude.
And
go get
it. The snow makes everything just it's like a sound deadening for the world. It's everything's so quiet.
Dude, no one's up.
Yeah, nobody's up, dude. You don't have to worry about it. The only other people that are up are other plowers.
Yeah,
you're just like, what's up, dude? Call me if you get stuck.
No, that's super cool. I mean, even just
Dunkin' here in a couple hours.
I mean, even just the idea of going to Sam's Club, buying a 30 case of water for $4 and flipping them for $1 a piece that's the stuff that like lights my soul on fire.
Absolutely.
Like, I love it. Being in, that situation. I had a friend just go to Disney World, and I was like, how much is a bottle of water inside Disney World right now? He said it's $7 for a regular bottle of water.
That's crazy.
He's like, there's a Mexican dude standing outside with a cooler full of waters for $1. And he's like, and you can bring water in. He's like, oh, I went over there. I bought that dude's whole ass case. Like that's genius. Like, and he's killing it. You know what I mean? That's, $35 profit
and
per
it's literally
case of water.
Just taking 5 extra minutes when you're planning that vacation to just get a couple cases.
No, of course.
Yeah.
But I hate carrying water. That is like the epitome to me. Brad has his water delivered, guys. I just want you guys to know that every week somebody drops off LaCroix at the door. So we don't have to carry it too far. But like little
and
things.
My 5 gallons.
Oh, the 5-gallon Deep Rock. Best tasting water I've ever had.
You go to Clark's. It's the best.
Clark's.
Dude, it's dope.
Interesting.
It's a hidden gem here in Pueblo.
Too much work to switch now. I'm too deep.
Do
they have LaCroix there?
I'll send you some LaCroix, bro. You'll be all right.
That's so, I mean, obviously, like, you have a very different way of thinking about starting businesses. Do you see yourself starting anything else?
I do. Yeah, man. I just like business. I like talking to people. I like having people have trust in me. Like, the solar game's cool because, like, when you're looking at solar, like, I've sold some deals that are $100,000, and it's like, wow, this person like trusts me more than they trust their kids because they probably don't have a loan with their kid. You know what I mean? Like, I think about it like that, and it's like, it's a very humbling feeling that I've earned that trust from so many people, and it hasn't stopped. And like, a lot of it's from door to door now. Like, what I mean? Like, people meet us through that door to door process, which, has like I remember when I first started that part, they're just like, you're selling door to door, like you couldn't make it in like a regular job.
You're like, I mean, it does have a weird stigma until they see the ticket, of the commissions.
I used to be scared, dude. Like, I remember feeling like knocking, like when I first knocked in North Carolina, South Carolina, Winston-Salem was where we went first. But I remember like literally like people just be like, fuck off my doorstep, faggot, like talking shit out there in the South, and like I'm a Mexican, Mexican dude, like, and I always thought like I had like the worst stereotype for door knocker because like 6'2", 300 pounds, like tattooed, bearded, like,
it's a home invasion.
Oh my god, did you forget to pay somebody?
You're like, no, I'm selling you security.
I bet you are,
to protect you from me.
It was so horrible, and like it was in my own head that it made it happen that way. But I just remember like literally like crying under a street lamp, and I was just like, dude, I was like 21 years old out there, and I'm like, God, I'm a failure, and like, I'm gonna have to go home, and like, you know how hard it is to get home with like MapQuest sheets back then.
I know.
And you had to print them out or write them down if you didn't have the printer.
We had a printer, bro. Like, and we couldn't afford GPS because it's like $700 for that.
On a
the
Tom back then.
Looked like a walkie-talkie. But it was crazy. And just to think about like where it's at now, and you would think about that, like I was like, I could never knock here because people know me, and
for sure,
just the stereotype of what that looks like. of
just to like fuel your soul of knocking and sales.
Well, I was just saying, like, say you knocked on someone you went to high school with, and then you're really not making that money that you should be, right?
No, for sure.
Because people do compare themselves, but like I don't care now.
No, yeah.
Like, because when I look at it now, like there's not many people that could just like blow me away on what they make.
For sure.
Like
at
it doesn't like scare me. I'm like, oh whoa, I could do that now. Like I'm oh cool, that's a new milestone for me.
Yeah.
You know? But that was a big thing for me at that point.
So, I mean, kind of going into it, since we're already pretty deep, you know, like what were some of the biggest obstacles you've faced, and like how did you overcome them?
Biggest obstacles is like getting in your own head of like thinking of or caring what other people thought. You know, I used to care what, hear me out. I used to care what my mom and my dad and my brother and everybody thought of me. And I still do to a certain point, but like I can't, it's like asking my grandma how to fist fight. She's not going to really be able to tell me the good ways of doing that, right? Like it's like you have to be good. Like how do you be a good grandmother? Like she would tell me everything, and I'd learn so much from that. Does that make sense? Like
yeah.
But yeah, not caring about what people thought, because at one point I did, and like I said, it could have prevented me from being where I'm at today, which is a huge blessing.
For sure,
I went to school to be a cop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, for sure.
I went to school to be a cop, and
because of what people thought, you know, it's a prestigious thing. You know what I mean?
And my grandparents worked here in Pueblo, and that's what I just thought I wanted to do. And then just realizing, like, when you start out, like, a cop makes $35,000, or who knows what it is now. But like when I was
probably
going
not
to school,
far off from that.
it was like $35,000. Like you're risking your life. Well,
not a lot of room to be a hero, if I'm being honest.
Can't imagine why they always have openings.
Yeah, it's crazy. Tough. You know, it's how do you overcome the word no?
Dude, it's just part of the process. Like, so now, like, this is kind of what I teach is like when I teach this process, I'm telling these guys is like, you know, 1 in 11 conversations, like I will now be able to get an appointment. Like that's just my number, because I keep track of that stuff of how many people I talk to is going to be in a direct relationship on how many people I'm going to sell. So like in 1 in 11 people, like there's just people that still don't like the way I look. I'm okay with that.
That's cool.
But I'll find someone who's just like, man, you look very trustworthy.
You're like, perfect.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
Or you happen to know somebody, and like that's one of the things that you know you try to work your whole life and be good with you know how you are morally. You know.
I think that's what it comes down, especially in sales, is being relatable and, you know, essentially like not doing what you wouldn't do to your grandparents to that person.
That's seriously what that's how I taught.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, truly.
Like, would you sell your mom this? Then don't even think about it.
No, seriously. Yeah, you know, and that's kind of my thought process with my services and stuff like that. Like, I am in a service of, you know, either helping people show off their, you know, what they have, or, you know, show off their family, whatever it is. At the end of the day, it's, you know, to show and preserve a memory.
Yes.
And what that is worth for them, you know. But if I was like, oh man, for everybody listening who has a camera, there's a big cash cow in town, and just morally I can't do it. It's shooting funerals. Like, I will take high-end funerals to preserve the memory, but you could be out there 3, 4, 5 times a day, charge $1,000 a funeral. That's $5,000 a day. Very easy. Just morally, it's not what I want to do. You know what I mean? So is that something I would sell?
I think I morally could do it.
5,000? I know a guy who will loan you the cameras, you know, for that much. I won't do it. You know,
$100,000 a month, you're saying?
It's crazy. Yeah. You mean truly at that point.
Yeah.
I just don't like to, you know, benefit when people are at their lowest. You know what I mean? And I get it. You know, like, you are saving the memory. You are, you know, giving them something, but it's just,
please don't take pictures at my funeral.
I can't do that, you know, for me personally. You know, live streams, that's one thing for people who can't be there, but
social media.
Yeah, you
change
know,
the game. Everyone's got to put everything everywhere.
Yeah, you know, like, there's some things that I just don't want, you know, like, unless it's like a really big figure or, you know, something like that. Like, I'm very cautious when I do take those on, but, you know, but it does come down to, you know, would I sell that to my family?
Yeah, well, that's a lot of thing that happens out here. Like, a lot of people that just buy homes are just like, oh, I want solar, and then they try to get it, and then people will sell that to them all day. Like, I try to tell people, like, get 6 months at least. You know, hopefully it's May through, you know, October.
The hot months, for sure.
So I can see what you actually use, because I couldn't consciously do that. And if they do still decide to do that, it's like, at least, like, that's on you now.
I've tried.
Like, if I undersold it or oversold it, that's on you. You know, and like, I try to make sure that I be as just integrity. Just have integrity in everything that I do with that part. Because if not, it's going to come back to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know how this city is.
Oh, always.
They'll eat you up.
No, for sure. I mean, we said it on another podcast
last week or something. They were talking about
if something happens and somebody's not happy, they'll tell fucking 30 people. If you do something right, they might tell one.
Well, the statistic is 72 people if you piss them off, and 4 if you get them right. Like,
yeah.
Like
one of those being their dog.
That's a good. Fido, I swear to God, that dude is great.
Yeah,
don't tell nobody.
We're gonna get you a solar panel on the roof. You know what I mean?
This little light, it's on for you, dog.
That's right. Yeah,
that's funny.
No, that's and it's weird. I mean, it is. I don't do things based off of that. It's like like you said, morally, what's right. That's what I want to do. I guarantee you, Brad does the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, mine's. I mean,
everybody needs you.
It's like, I'm not like big salesperson, I guess. I mean, mine's kind of like straightforward. Like, I can just show you, like, here's what I charge and here's how much I saved you. So it's really simple for me, I guess, to show the benefit of of what we're doing.
Same thing you're doing in solar. This is what you're spending. This is what you would spend. There's no startups. Whatever. I will say, as a homeowner, going solar was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, for sure. Especially because I keep my air conditioner pinned at 68 degrees, and my bill is not terrifying. I'm excited to look at my Black Hills bill because I know it's just to see where it's at.
Well, this time of year, I always tell people, I'm just like, man, look at all these barbecues. You guys are outside. Kids are going in and out of the house.
Doors
that's doing to the air conditioner. It's going up.
That's what I'm saying.
Talk about my housing situation.
Yeah.
My dogs they just like going in and out, but I haven't put a doggy door in, so it's like our air conditioner will be on all day with the back door open. You know what I mean? So it's like we budget in a Black Hills energy bill for $300 for 4 months.
Dude. That is crazy to me. Like, dude, I always think about it like as a kid. I remember, there's like this little area from my grandma where she used to sit in Super East Side, like we're Lower East Side where we grew up, and the air conditioner's in the front room. So like as soon as you open the living room door, she would throw this thing or whatever, wooden spoon, whatever, and it'd curve around this little corner and blast you. He's like, close the door.
Immediately.
Like, why wouldn't you? Like, people get hit for that in my family.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
That's so funny.
And it wasn't even that bad back then.
No, that was a swamper in the window. You know what I mean? Like,
not central air. Not
no,
that
definitely. No, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, we were kind of going back and forth on our house we have now because I didn't plan on keeping it for too long. Like, maybe 2-3 years we're just going to sell it. So I was like, I don't want to get solar, but I think we decided we're going to keep it. So I think we are going to look at it because it just makes so much sense.
Just hit up Christian, bro.
Keeping it pinned. I mean, that's essentially that's who sold me mine, and
I met with him too. I mean, like, I loved meeting with him as a solar, as a customer on that side, because I'm just a numbers guy, I don't need you to tell me like how beneficial it is. I don't even need me personally, I don't need you to tell me the tax benefits. I'll figure those out myself, But like, it was cool. Just sat down. Just here's the numbers. Here's the size you need to cover your bill. Here's where they're gonna be on your house. Like, it was a really good process.
Bro, that's why I like it when we sit with people, like, and it's so. What's the word I'm looking for? It's so good for us to actually go out there and knock doors, because like once people sit with us, it's like a no-brainer. Like, it's just like, would you rather walk to the store or drive? Like,
and then once those those panels are paid off,
dude,
I mean,
$10.
it's
crazy.
Just the connect fee, to stay on the grid. And that's I think at that point people will really realize, like, I don't know why every dude who owns a rental doesn't have that on there.
Dude, seriously.
Honestly.
Well, because you could just add that to their bill anyway. And it's like, if you get a bill from Black Hills, like, you pay for that. It's going to be less than normal, but
who cares?
Just don't grow weed in the basement.
Exactly. Right? Yeah.
And
you'll know if they are.
Exactly.
Soon, like, everyone's going to have an electric car in 15 years. You're going to have
add a few more panels,
charging your car, So like, when I met with Christian, I had my Tesla on order. he added that in. He's like, okay, well, here's probably how much you're going to need extra too for your car.
Pay $500 for this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're welcome.
And like, like,
it'll be here.
I even got a new roof out of my deal. It was crazy.
It's amazing.
Like,
it's amazing.
Honestly, I mean, this is not a plug to go solar.
No, apparently,
truly,
Adrian Duran.
But I mean, truly, I can't think besides getting my central air installed, like, that, obviously that's probably up there as well.
Bro, I was so spoiled as an adult because when I used to travel, like, they used to pay for my rent, my utilities, like, everything. And when I bought my first house, I remember I put central air in because, like, that's what I was used to, 68 degrees. Like, I'm like, yes, I'm going to freeze it out. And then my first bill is like $342, and I seriously called my mom. I was like, how could you not prepare me for this? She's like, dude, you're 32 years old. Like, how did you survive, son? You know what I mean? Like,
they were comped.
They sent me a letter.
And you would think the company would complain because or something, like, come on, dude, don't be a jerk. Like,
what
put
the
it to
hell?
75 or something. I don't know.
I work too damn hard to be sweating like
seriously,
that.
No, I seriously used to set it at 68 degrees and did.
Oh, yeah,
and then, so by the time I was home,
that first walk into the door,
Agreed.
amazing.
It
smells great.
That's perfect. Yeah,
I love that. That's my favorite.
No, honestly,
I leave the ceiling fan on and the air conditioner just for my dogs every day.
That's
just
right.
That way they can get good naps in,
I mean, the only thing that hits better is when the landscapers leave and I come home and it's like, damn, that lawn looks good. And I'm not full of allergies and my eyes aren't swollen shut. It's not bad.
That's one of my favorite things.
My shoes aren't grass. Oh, see, I can't do it. I used to, but my allergies are just so bad now. It's like, I'd rather not deal with it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can't get up early enough. I tried. And the cost of gas for me to do it, But
so I have a question. It seems like all or most of these businesses you have partners, like business partners with. How is that? Because
I think it's so it just all depends. Like, I think once you set proper expectations and roles, you know what I mean? Like, it's fine. But I think once you, like, that's what's cool is because you can hold them accountable to that part, right? Like, this is my roles, these are my responsibilities, this is my roles, responsibilities. If this isn't getting done, like, cool, let's have some talks. And I've separated from business partners before. Like, it's very difficult if you're not on the same page. But there's a lot of times where people, like, feel like they're a business owner and they could just stop working, like, or stop, like, answering phones. Like, it's the craziest thing to me. Like, for me, when I became a business owner, like, I felt like I needed to prove myself more. Yeah. Not that, like, oh, I made it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there was never that thing for me. And, like, it's crazy because, like, that's one of the things that I tell people, like, even before I get in business, because I don't always have the ideas. I just got a little bit of cash now. So, like, it's like, cool, like, we could do some things. But, like, if you start not answering your phone call after 6, you know what I mean? Just because it's like, this ain't a regular job, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and then, like, if you're the guy that's running it and you're the guy that has the answers and you don't answer me, like, that pisses me off. It's like, yeah. But it's just like one of those things, like, just setting those expectations beforehand. Like, it's a lot less likely to have issues. But you're always going to have growing pains, man. Like, you're always going to have growing pains. I've been very fortunate because, like, one of them's my best friend. One of them's my cousin that I love to death. Like, that's, like, probably the most integral dude I've ever met in my entire life. Like, even my old business partner for the bar was great. But, like, it's like one of those things, like, I just knew that one was for me, the bar. I couldn't do that long term. It was going to drive me insane. That's where all these gray hairs came in.
So would you say, it's just like really filling out your business partner?
100%. Like, you're going to see some things beforehand. Like, you're not just going to jump in bed with somebody you don't know. Like, you're going to do your research. Well,
business-wise, yeah, for sure.
Or otherwise.
Both.
Most people should do that, right? Like, it's
most people should. Most people don't do either.
Yeah, but that's kind of how that. Yeah. But that, like, just knowing who you're doing business with is, like, there's a lot of people that could talk a good game. Like, there's hundreds of solar dudes that say they'll do this stuff and they're the best trainers in the world and they've never made over 50,000. So, like, proof's in the pudding.
No, for sure, yeah.
People, or any industry. You know what I mean?
For sure, yeah.
Like, if you're making under 6 figures and you're trying to teach people how to do that, like, I don't think that's a very good teacher, in my opinion.
For sure.
I agree. Yeah. I'm just like,
I'm not even saying 6 figures, like multiple ones.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what's that? Like, I don't want to just learn how to make $100,000. Like, teach me how to make $1 million.
For sure, yeah.
That's the part.
It's like you don't go to like a fat personal trainer or something. What I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
honestly, I've never seen an out of shape guy.
Yeah. I mean, it just
there's a couple. We won't mention the gym, but it's not the gyms that you see me hanging out at. That's for sure. I'm not working out there either. I'm working there. Sure. That's the difference. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's true. And you don't go to a skinny chef.
Sure.
Like, that's you want to go somewhere to eat.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, and like, I'm very big on if the Chinese restaurant is really clean, I don't want to eat there. I want bugs on the wall, because if the bugs don't want to eat there, neither do I. That's the best Chinese food. For
sure. I always tell my friends, I'm like, there's a restaurant in town. I'm like, don't look anywhere. Just look at your plate. That's it. And don't say shit, because it's amazing.
It's really good. You're going to enjoy it. Just
eat the food first.
Before you start judging.
No, that's super cool.
That's fun.
Now, at what point, because you owned a solar company, right?
No, I just
you worked for them.
Yeah, so like I just contract my work for them.
Okay.
But like it's a relationship. It's like if I'm putting all my eggs in your basket, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of how that works.
So you essentially take over the sales portion of it and then outsource it for them to do the install.
Correct.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yep. Okay, that's why I was like, building the solar industry, and you're like, I can't tell you how to do that. But no, that makes total sense. And I think more places should look at outsourcing, some of this, because that's what you guys do really, really well.
Yeah. Well, because and then again, you're going to get an unbiased opinion on that part, because we're doing this because that's our purpose there. Like you're not paying us anything other than the work that we provide.
Exactly.
Right. Like, it's not like a salary employee. It's like you have to do this, and this, and this before you do that. So like I like the contract work, and I like paying that way, honestly too, like a 1099, because you're gonna, whether that job takes you 4 hours or 1, you're gonna get paid the same.
It's the same.
But you're gonna better work on that, and there's clauses in there that you got to go back for a certain amount of time and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
And if people are like working a day job and they're like, oh, I need to make more money, like I feel like finding a 1099 or some kind of like commission-based job, that's the in-between.
That will change.
That's where you have a job, you have support from that job, but you're also basically your own business. You know what I mean? You can kind of push it. And
I think where people mess up, though, is they just try to get into something that their buddy thinks is cool. Like find something you're passionate about, so like you could get behind that product. Like for me, I'll never sell anything that I don't believe in or I don't own.
Exactly.
Like I won't get into that part, because if I, like, my mom has solar, my uncles, my aunts, everybody has it that does it and believes it, because not only did I sell it to them at a decent price, but saving them money.
Yeah. Long term.
I could show them savings like day one. Like it's not even a thing. Or like even the alarm stuff. Like I won't ever just gouge somebody. Like that's what I tell people all the time, is like, it sucks because other companies will they'll gouge people because they're going to buy emotionally.
Cheap. Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, when they're broke into. And I'm just like, it's the same price, but it sucks. Like we've been friends since high school. We've seen all this stuff for a long time,
Yeah.
It's just tough to see people getting hurt and taking advantage of.
Now, do you guys do cameras as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, answer this for me.
Gotcha.
Why, when they show a bank robber at the bank, it looks like it was taken on a freaking Nokia flip phone?
Because they don't upgrade their stuff, dude. It's
so crazy
cheap now. Like it blows my mind. So here's the thing. So let me kind of clarify some things. So there's third-party apps that do stuff like Ring Doorbell. All that stuff is cool, dude. I think it's great. Like you hear the ding dong, like when you pass by. I think that's really cool. But the thing that kind of sets people or sets us aside from those things is like, that's a third-party app. It could be doctored, it could be changed. It's in a cloud-based system. All the surveillance that we do is watermarked. It has
timestamp.
Timestamp. Like that's the watermarking, just like a $100 bill. It's a lot harder to duplicate. It can't be. Well, I'm sure it could.
And it's on a server, correct? Yeah. Your own server.
NVR, NVR, DVR,
Yep.
And then you'll have some multiple days. So like I tell people all the time is like, you can go to Sam's and you'll get a 16 channel for $800 all day. But like, do you want to watch somebody steal your shit or catch somebody steal your shit? Like that's kind of the difference.
That's the difference. Yeah.
To
have somebody watching it,
Yeah. Well, and like, there's no excuse for banks to have that shitty of a.
That's what I was saying.
No
like
excuse.
it's.
But like
so
what
crazy.
they're doing is just like old technology,
CCTV type stuff. Yeah.
But there's coax stuff today. Like we have these HD CVI stuff that. Is amazing. It just almost
4K,
Seriously,
nobody's going to stream in 4K like that. That just makes no sense from the the server standpoint and the DVR. But I mean, downscale 1080 looks amazing.
1080's dope.
Night vision, you know what I mean? Like the infrared stuff, like it looks amazing, you know. And I laugh every time that there's a bank robbery or a loaf and jug robbery, and I'm like,
have you seen this person? Is like, I don't think his own mom could recognize.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What am I looking at?
Only the crackheads are wearing masks still, So I mean, maybe start at Highway 50 McDonald's,
so
kind of see what they're doing, But I mean that always kind of just made me irk, because I know how affordable it is. It's never been cheaper.
The banking industry doesn't have a lot of money, David, so they can't afford that.
You're right. Yeah. Interest rates are up. I don't know.
It's honestly laziness. If your place doesn't have good quality stuff, and it's not that expensive. Like, you know, you can get an 8-channel system for, you know, $2,200, $2,300, depending on where it's at, and like warranted for 3 years. Like most stuff is 30-day. You know. And
No, I mean, so and then you can like kind of break up payment plans and stuff on that as well, or do most people just pay that up?
Just normally just pay cash, but you know, there's a ton of like. There's this place called Lightstream. They'll do loans and stuff. Like if you have decent credit, like you could get that stuff in a day and just pay us. Like I don't want to be the guy that has to
no, for sure. For you. And I'm just saying that because I know a lot of other business owners watched the show, so I want them to know, like, hey, you know, like you might have a Ring doorbell, but you know, like, you know, that's not enough anymore. You know,
I just
to
don't
protect
think so.
your assets.
Because,
you know,
bro, like I think about, I love having my surveillance system. Like I couldn't imagine not having it. You know, and surveillance is secondary to me. You know, like I like having the alarm side too. Like it's just
for sure
something I feel very good. Like when my alarm goes off, I grab my phone and I look at my camera. It's like it's not the opposite. I'm not waiting for the operator to call me.
And you know, the cameras, you know, it's not ever offline.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not the third party, because there's been sometimes I'm like trying to get on Ring and it's just sitting there spinning, and I'm like,
server's jacked up.
Oh Lord, you know, or Xfinity goes out.
Wi-Fi's out.
And even if that does happen, now it's backed up onto the it's still recording no matter what. Recording. You know,
as long as your power's on.
Well, the thing, I got so tired of getting like so many Ring notifications from cars driving by and stuff. So it's like I turned the notifications off.
So now
I strictly use my Ring doorbell just to see who's at the door, if someone's there, or like that's about it.
But like, it's just funny though, because like when you look at that stuff, I see stuff online all the time. Like the other day, I seen one of my friends on Facebook had this Ring doorbell camera set up, and they see a guy walking by, and then it just disappears. She's like, "Oh my god!" And then everyone's like, "It's a ghost." And I was like, "Dude, it's a 15-second clip." And
exactly.
It doesn't have no more motion there no more. Like it just didn't disappear. Like that doesn't happen.
I know that's one thing that does drive me crazy about Ring. Like I'll be like, oh, I want to go see what happened. Like my dogs broke my window last week trying to get the mailman. So I was watching my Ring. You know,
by the way, I hate houses like that, dude. Like, and I'm knocking doors. I'm like, oh shit, there's a dog.
That's why Brad doesn't have solar right now.
He punched the hole through the damn window. But it picks the mailman up like at my mailbox. So then, like, right as my dogs break the window, the mailman's like, "Oh shit!" And then it just stops. And I was like, "Oh, I wanted to see the rest of his reaction."
That's me, dude. I'm the worst, dude. I'm so afraid of dogs, and it's crazy because I do this for a living. But like every single house, I'm like, "Oh God, is he good? Is he nice?"
Carrying a pack of hot dogs in your pocket.
Just fighting 2 dudes in front of me, but like, you get a dog there, I'm like, "Oh, dang, I'm gonna have to run."
Exactly.
Yeah, my mailman won't deliver if my front door's open. So like, if my screen door's closed but my front door's open, he won't even deliver it. And I was like, well, that sucks for me. But then I was like, my neighbor's a mailman too. He's like, oh yeah, I just got bit by a pit bull last week. And I was like, well, I could see why my neighbor won't drop off my mail then.
Are your dogs just aggressive like inside the house or even outside?
Well, I have a healer, so she's not big. She's like 45 pounds, but she's a very protective dog. I mean, the hair on her back stands up. She's pretty intimidating for what she is. So I don't blame him at all.
Damn.
And now she punched through a window, so I'm sure he's even more terrible.
Oh, every mailman heard about that, you know, in the group chat. Like, yo, you're not going to believe this shit.
A blue healer.
Right.
These dogs are vicious, though. I got bit by one, too. I was at a solar appointment, and this dog's like, I thought he was going to break through the window. I was like, dude, are you sure? Do you want to put that dog away real quick? And he's just like, nah, man. He's like, just watch out for that one. As he says that dog's like on my leg. I was like, ah. Like, I couldn't even sell it. Like, I'm all shaky and stuff. I was like, dude,
they're all like trying to show the computer screen, trying to chicken scratch,
dude,
right?
You know, horrible,
they're
dude.
super protective.
Dude.
Yeah. God, dang, that's the worst.
Yeah, that's the worst. Oh yeah, forget that guy. Should have pepper sprayed that dog. You know,
when we got her, they were like, you need to, you know, whoever's going to be around that dog, you need to make sure they know as a young age, like this is who that is, because it takes them a while to get used to people, and they're very protective of their space.
Dogs, though,
for sure.
They're smart, super intelligent. I mean,
you always see them just chilling on the back of trucks, and I'm like,
on the flatbeds on I-25. I'm like, what kind of country ass shit is this?
Yeah, I mean, my dog's like, she's so smart. You teach her anything in five different tries, and that's super athletic. So
that's insane,
but also very aggressive.
It's good for you, though, I guess.
So I guess you know, getting back on track here. What are some of the goals moving forward? It could be personal and professional, but you know, short, medium, long-term goals.
One of my short-term goals is get back into shape, dude. Like, I have kids, very young kids, and I want to make sure that I have longevity with them. Like that's been one of my big things the last 15 weeks is just getting back into shape. Nice. And just making it a lifestyle more than just like, oh God, I got to go to the gym. Like we're able to go to the gym and
for sure,
have that part. So that's one of my personal goals. But one of my goals is to get up to 10 dudes over 100K. So
nice. Okay.
That's one of my goals is to do that. And then I like the part that, Pueblo is a big enough space for everybody to make money. So like I'm not like I don't feel like I'm in competition with anybody. Like, because my goal is to get 1% of our population, and I'll live fine the rest of my life. Like, within the years.
For sure. Yeah.
Because at this point, we are doing pretty close to that on a yearly basis between our companies. So
for sure,
it's pretty cool to be able to be in that position to do that. But I want to continue to, just keep looking for 1%. Like, I don't want 90. Just want one.
Yeah, for sure.
And then honestly, like I want to get into some real estate. So me and one of my other buddies are looking to get into some investment properties to do that. And I don't even know how much I'm gonna get involved in that, but I definitely know they're not making any more land, at least.
That's true. Yeah.
And some either some land or some actual commercial properties that we're gonna be looking at getting.
Smart. Yeah. Heck yeah. I was going to go down the whole commercial properties and like, what's your opinion on that? Like I feel like a lot of them are for sale and, nobody really needs office space right now,
Sure. Like my office space is a culture building spot. So like, I just have a pool table. I have like theater seating and stuff like that. Like a bunch of snacks and drinks at the place. And I have my office that's separate in our training room. So, like I'm not looking to be like a regular place with desks and just boring stuff. I want it to be fun. And like, honestly, that's what I want to learn how to do and kind of build that into other people's cultures.
Yeah, for sure.
In my consulting.
That makes sense. Well, sweet, man. Well, we have a reoccurring question, and I'm sure it's been burning in the back of your head. Dude, so the old question, what do you want your lasting legacy to be?
Man, I think the biggest thing for me is just knowing that I actually genuinely cared and, wanted to help people. Like, I'm not out here to be the biggest, richest, whatever. Like, I genuinely just want to help people and want the people to know that I did that for that, not for just money. Money is just a byproduct of helping people, in my opinion. So, man, just a good helper. I'm hoping that's my lasting legacy that I genuinely cared.
Hell yeah. No, that's huge. Well, I want to thank you for clearing the schedule, a little bit to come on. It was great having you. If we do a part 2, then we're definitely calling you back for the round table and stuff like that. But yeah, I had a great time with the episode. Check out all of his business ventures and the links down below. We'll have them all tagged up and everything like that. Reach out to him if you need solar, whatever. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast. Check us out on the video side on YouTube. Every Thursday we get a new drop. So this will be out on Thursday. So this has been the Lasting Legacy Podcast. Good night.